I'm ChosenArchitect, and this is Mystical Block. It's finally going to happen. Yes, we actually get to use mystical agriculture today, and it's actually something that doesn't have EMC, and that is Draconic Evolution. So today we're going to be diving into some Draconic Evolution, and this is a mod that is incredibly fun and is a pastime. I mean, it's just the fact that it only exists in 1.12 and 1.16 now. Oh, it's phenomenal, and it's had a lot of changes in 1.16 since its prior version. But we'll get into that a little bit later. The first thing we need to do is figure out, well, how in the world do we even get started with this magnificent mod that is Draconic Evolution? One of the first things we need to do is go to the end. So I have this set up here. Of course, I originally got here via a cake, and we've already fought the dragon and all that fun stuff. But there's some stuff that is specifically in this dimension that we need to farm, and it's going to look like this. This is the Ender Draconium ore, and when we mine this stuff up, we get ourselves draconium dust. Now, we don't need a lot of draconium dust, thankfully. It's really just used for like the draconium infused obsidian and the potentiometer. But other than that, there's really no major use outside of just simply making the draconium ingot, which is the one thing that does not have EMC. Of course, many of the things from here do not have EMC, which is great because this is going to allow us to get into farming seeds incredibly fast. Now, first though, we need to make ourselves some draconium seeds. Now, to make the base seeds, it's really just a matter of smelting these. So we need to get this smelted, and then we'll have all of the draconium ingots that we're going to need for this. There we go. And we just place them around, and finally we're going to have ourselves some seeds to work with that are actually going to be needed to be farmable. So we'll have this done. This is going to be our draconium seed, tier 5 seed. Now, how exactly should I go about farming these? Well, we can go the old-fashioned method, but there are botany pots in here that allow us to farm these in a single pot, and they can go incredibly fast depending on the version of the pot that you have. Let's take a look at those. So these things right here are the power pots. Now, they do require a bit of compressed material. This is compressed blocks of redstone, compressed blocks of iron, and they continue to go up in tier, really just requiring just a little bit of EMC. Now, this does require a nether star crux. A nether star crux does require you to have killed the wither by hand, or just, yeah, you have to kill the wither by hand, or you can have a wither, like a physical wither farm to get these withering souls. But you do need these for the nether star crux. So ultimately the MK4 does not have an EMC-able variant. But we'll see what the difference is. I don't know if the MK4 is going to be way better than the MK3, but we should be able to at least make the PowerPot MK3 for now, and we could probably make a couple of the PowerPot MK4s. So here's the MK1, of course that's EMC-able, and then it requires the next version in order to get there. So after getting all of the consecutive crafts, which this is so much easier since we do have the transmutation hooked up to our refined storage system. But as you can see right there, this is at least the tier 3, like I said, which is EMC-able, as you can see right there. Making this one, let's go ahead and make this. This does require a ton of compressed netherrack, or not netherrack, netherite. And we should be able to easily produce this as well. So just like that, we have a power MK4. So let's test out the difference between the MK3 and the 4 and see if it's really worth making the 4 compared to that. Now, these are going to need power, I believe. So we should be able to just connect a point up to these. And let's go ahead and get a barrel for right now, just to get an idea. Now, this particular seed, does it require any particular farmland? It looks like Insanium farmland is going to be probably the best farmland that we can use. So I can just pop in here and just simply grab a piece of Insanium, and I should be able to just make some farmland with it by doing this. So there's a tier, or a inferium tier farmland, just like that. Okay, so we have a couple of them. Let's get this. Let's put this to a test. Let's see. I want to farm them on these islands over here. So let's see. We'll put them head to head, and we'll see which one is better. Okay. So is this where I need to put the power? Is on this particular side? I guess it really doesn't matter, does it? Okay. Oh, it looks like those can be bone milled. That's kind of weird. So let's hook this up to the main. Both of them are going to cost a lot of power. I'm going to disable the limit. Just make sure it can accept the limit. And then we'll put this in here and put that in. And we'll see. Okay, so that grows it pretty quick. Of course, this can be sped up, I believe, with the Watch of Flowing Time, which is probably going to be the main way to farm this essence, because it does take quite a few seconds. Now, this one is, again, pretty slow. Like, it's fast, but it's like not... Oh, it gives you 48. Oh, wow. Okay. Not slow. Never mind. That's actually pretty quick. And I'm assuming this gives you 48, whereas this one will give you a stack, right? This will probably give you an actual stack. It's going to be probably roughly the same amount of time. But it's going to give a stack. Oh my. It does seem faster. Yeah, it gives you a full stack. Oh my gosh. Okay. And this can definitely be increased, I think, with the Watch of Flowing Time. Let's see. Let's take a pedestal. And let's just put one in for right now. Oh my god. It gives you a stack of the seeds as well. I don't even think we need this version. I think just going with the other versions will be more than enough. Oh my goodness. I was not expecting that. Now I have an idea for the automation here, as I don't think we're going to need many of these. But if we need to expand, we can of course increase this vertically, I think. But for right now, I should be able to hook this in to a refined storage network, getting ourselves a wireless upgrade here. There we go. Sending that to our other transmitter. And so now we're sending this 30 something blocks away, and we should be able to access a refined storage from here, allowing me to put some importers on here. Oh boy. And yeah, that's going to be quite nice. And we should be able to cover these as well. You won't even know they're here. Just found out you actually can't facade these, the advanced importers. So you have to use normal ones if you want to be able to facade them. Of course, you need to put stack and speed upgrades in these. Now, of course, I don't like to use a lot of pedestals, as that can get kind of laggy in your world. So that's why I'm sticking to just one. I think that's going to be more than enough to be able to take care of this. No need to go any crazier. So now with Draconium under our belt, things are going to get a little bit easier on us. Because we do have the access to that, we just simply need to craft up some crafting recipes for the use of this. So in Draconic Evolution, we are going to need several things to sort of get started with this. And it's going to be sort of this repetitive crafting sequence that we have to do to upgrade the injectors. Now, the main thing is going to be these Draconium cores, and we're going to probably need a bunch of them. But for right now, let's go ahead and get this particular pattern set up to make the fusion crafting core, which is what we're going to craft into. Now, this is going to be the way that all of the crafting recipes work. So if you were to hit U on this to see what it's used for, you'll see these recipes, and they may be kind of confusing at first, but I promise you it's not too difficult. The item that is right here in the center is what goes into the fusion crafting core to be eventually converted into whatever's down here at the said energy cost at the bottom. Now, the things and items that are on the side, they tell you up top what tier crafter you're going to need, or aka injector that you're going to need for said craft, and how many you're going to need for each item that goes into this said craft. So in this particular case, we're going to need a total of 6 of the at least the Wyvern tier injectors. Of course, you can use higher tier injectors, but you can't use lower tier injectors. Now, injectors themselves have their own upgrade recipe, which means we have to start at the basic Draconium fusion crafting injector to even think about getting started with this mod. Now, the Draconium cores are going to be used a lot, and that's why we needed to automate the Draconium ingot, because it doesn't have EMC, which means this doesn't have EMC, right? We do need to set up the auto craft for this. And do I have some patterns? I'm missing a couple of patterns. Oh yeah, we have tons of patterns. So there's the pattern for that, and that will be able to now craft all of these ingredients. And getting back to Draconic, we just need to go ahead and craft ourselves a fusion core. So there's our fusion core made. And then we also are going to need several injectors. I like to kind of start off with at least 9 of them for right now. Later on, we can always upgrade and we'll be able to get more of them. But now we need to find an area that is going to be suitable for setting up Draconic crafting. Now, I think this area will actually be perfect. However, I'm not sure if the way that this works still matters if there's anything obstructing it, like in the way. Because what I was thinking is maybe I can have, for example, the crafting core here, and then have the injectors on the ground like this, sort of out of the way. And I wonder if it would still be able to reach this. I don't know. Actually, I think it has to be directly underneath this in order for it to work, or directly on the sides of it for it to work. Let me show you, for example. Just like this as the example. Where all of these are facing the actual crafting core. They can be a few blocks out. I don't remember the exact amount. It might actually tell me within the Draconic evolution, there is a tablet. I don't know if the tablet has been finished. Tablet. This right here. Yeah, the informational tablet doesn't have a crafting recipe, which means it was never finished in this particular version. Let's go ahead and craft a few more injectors. Let's craft 3 more. This will give us a total of 12 injectors, right? The 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah. So we'll have 12. We'll see if this is going to work. Let's first try our first craft. On the back of these, we're going to need plugs or points on each one of these, because we're going to have to send a lot of power through this. And we send the power through the injectors. Now, this is where I recommend the Flux configurator, because on the back here, if we send to main, we're going to make sure we want to disable the limit. And then I'll shift right click to copy that. And then we want to paste that on all of these. I don't know. Can you put the wand in your offhand and it automatically place it configured? Oh, that'd be cool if it did. Nope, it doesn't though. We have to go through each one. Okay. And then we just right click to paste. So that'll make it a lot easier. For sending the power around, because that tends to be the hardest part about Draconic, is just having a resource that can send that much power. I know we have infinite power at this point, but we just want to make sure we have a tool that can send it into here fast enough. Now, is this going to work with blocks in the way? If not, I'll just remove the blocks and we'll make this look different. But for right now, let's see if we can't get this to work. Now, forgive me, as it's been a while since I've messed around with Draconic Evolution. But I think I remember how this is going to work. We need to get at least one of these infusion injectors into the middle. We're going to need a wyvern core. That's another thing that we need automated, but that's going to use the nether stars. So thankfully we have nether stars set up already, so we shouldn't have to worry about that too much. We do have these just being produced. So we'll put the wyvern in here. Now, let's see. This can go in here. Those also won't have EMC because they're going to be using the prior course. So let's try this out. Let's take a look at this recipe right here. It's going to require all of these ingredients, including a draconium block, which I am going to need to get the recipe crafted for that as well. None of these things I want to have to make by hand, if that makes any sense. If I can avoid doing that, the better. So, without further ado, we'll go ahead and select the next tier crafter, and I'm going to hold down Control and click here, and it's going to request everything that we don't already have. And it's going to start the craft for it. And it should make everything that we don't already have. It looks like, though, it did use up the 2 that it had made. Okay. So let's toss this all into our grid. As you can see, it did pull an injector, even though we didn't really need that. And we also need, I believe it was 4 diamonds. And I think we can do this in stacks. So I'm going to go ahead and craft like a stack of these, and then a stack of the other cores as well. And let's see if we can't do this by stacks. I'm pretty sure we can. So yeah, with my stacks set up, I went ahead and lined them up similar to how we see here. So at the moment you see we have all of them stacked up, and I believe these are set already into stack mode, and it doesn't matter what area you put them in. As you can see, it's going to go ahead and take the whole stack, which is just what we want. And I'm going to move these all to the location they're supposed to be in. Right. And then last but not least, we need to start upgrading these. So I can take this one, for example, and let's see if putting this in here is going to work. Now it says no valid recipe. I'm thinking that's because there's stuff in the way. It still says no valid recipe. What am I missing here? Oh, I'm not missing anything. I just had to pull it out and put it back in, and it was because the blocks were in its way. So yes, with this particular setup, we are going to have to make sure and maintain clearance. So this actually looks pretty good. I actually don't mind this. And we just hit craft. Now you can also use redstone to trigger this, and that is a pretty cool thing as well. But as you can see right now, it's going to go through the craft. It's doing some cool stuff, as you can see, spinning things around, particle effects. The problem is it just takes a minute to craft certain things. We could speed this up, but the charge is what takes a while. It just takes a while to speed this up and get the charge going. We might, however, be able to speed up the entire process with a watch. So with a single watch, we can definitely speed up this process, but I don't know if the charge process is going to be faster. The crafting process also takes just time. There's nothing that can speed it up. It's just sheerly time. But there we go. So now we have ourselves this injector. And the way I like to do this is placing the injector down and then just grabbing another injector and put it in just like so. And then hit craft for now. You can also have a ticking redstone circuit, which is something that we'll probably end up doing later. Let's test this out. Let's put this down. Watch. Does it go faster? I mean, not really. It's still going to take that much time to charge regardless of how many injectors we have or how much time this is ticking. It doesn't seem like that's going faster. It will craft faster though. So as soon as it's 100%, it should craft incredibly fast. Yeah, now it's already done with the craft. But yeah. Is it worth it? I don't know. Now, I personally like this process. I really do like this whole setup. And after we get all of these converted over, which shouldn't take too long at all, it's just going to be the same process. Of course, once we get to these, I just need to move these back into the new crafters I just created. But once this is all done and ready to go, we're going to move on to why we're actually crafting this next tier of injector. So with this all crafted, what exactly are we going to use these for? Like I had just mentioned, well, we're actually going to use it to make the Awakened variant. That's right. We're going to be just taking these, making Awakened, and then using that to upgrade to the next tier, and then eventually to the Chaotic. But that's going to require us to kill a dragon. Now, of course, there's many other fun things that we're going to need to do in the process. But this is basically the gist of the main crafting process. Now, here's where things are going to get interesting. Because we need the Awakened Draconium seeds, which means we need to make some Awakened Draconium. This requires the heart. We get 4 blocks of Awakened Draconium, so really we only need to kill the dragon once. I thought we were going to have to do it multiple times, but thankfully there's the seed. But the seed does require a crux, which requires the heart. So we need to actually farm, I guess we need to farm the dragon one more time in order to get, well, actually 2 more times, because this requires 2 blocks. Yeah, we're going to have to farm the dragon at least 2 more times from the looks of it. I wonder how hard actually fighting the dragon with like these in crystals would be. Of course, the ultimate fight is going to be a bit challenging, but once we resummon the dragon, which is how you do it. If you've never summoned one in Minecraft, you make in crystals and plop these bad boys down, and this will cause the dragon to resummon. I'm wondering, can we kill it with in crystals? Like, surely we can do that, right? You place them down and then you right click. Oh, something's preventing me from placing them down? No, they work. What is that? No, that worked. I didn't get all the way through summoning it. What is going on here? I broke it. I broke it. It's like it's permanent. Oh no. Did I break this? What is going on here? It says no. It is like, nope, you've done something wrong. For some reason, I can't place these down now. What did I just do? I broke it. I'm seriously at a loss on this one, and I feel like I have, whatever this mod is that makes the dragon harder, has effectively broken the fact that you need to summon the bosses in the first place. Like when you break this, it spawns in a cloud, but that cloud I can't get rid of. Like, it's just forever here. And I can't place a block into it, can I? Will that make it disappear? No, it's like forever there. And I can't place another ender crystal down because of it. Oh, wow. It just has a massive cooldown. I was trying to see if this would effectively place it for me, but it doesn't seem like it will. It does not want you using this to kill the dragon. It will literally stop you. That blows my mind. Okay, well that idea can go out of here. We're just gonna punch it to death. Now here's what I wonder. With me being in gym armor, do I take that crazy damage while flying? That's what I want to know. Because I mean, I'm basically nearly invincible. But will this toss me to the ground and basically try to kill me? We do have extra hearts as well. I am literally blind. I cannot see anything. Wow, that was a lot. Yeah, I mean, we'll have to just see, right? There's only one way, and you gotta test. I mean, theory can only get you so far. So far, looks like we're good. So far, so good. And like, it's not even doing any knockback to us, which is something the dragon normally does. Which the dragon definitely is not doing now. So there we go. All right. Come in for a landing. Okay, it says it's waiting on server. I hope I didn't break anything further. I know holding shift, by the way, on the ground causes the same thing that the ring would do. It causes it to push mobs away. Don't really want it doing that. That could be a problem. I think what I'm going to do instead is just kind of wait for it to make its way down here and land. Come on, Bessie. I know you can do it. Ain't she a beautiful dragon? So yeah, it looks like in gym armor, you don't really have to worry about the dragon flying effects. It works just fine. Here comes the lightning and everything though, right? Oh, no. Ah, there it is. Nice. Just what we wanted. Now, of course, the thing we need is this right here. Very, very nice. Okay, and now to kill the dragon one more time. The more I fight this thing, the more I literally realize it's breaking everything. Look at all the visual bugs. There's so many visual bugs from this. But ultimately, we should be able to... Oh, kill the dragon. Why did he disappear? He was landing. I keep saying he. She was landing. Dragons are normally female, right? This is a female dragon. Oh my goodness. There it goes. Oh, it's probably because my thing pushed it away. Because I held shift, which you don't want to do. And for some reason, my sword is not hitting the dragon. Okay. Why is this so hard? This is way harder than it needs to be. It's so difficult for no reason. I have levitation. There's just a sliver of health. Oh my gosh, there we go. There's so much going on. It's causing so much lag. All right, well, with that out of the way, we can now actually get started with Draconic. Yeah, by making the awakened stuff. Oh, goodness. So just like this, I'm going to need six of these stacked sets of Draconium cores, and this is going to allow me to make the awakened Draconium. I will also need the hearts there, and then 4 blocks of this equals the awakened. It does say there's no recipe for some reason initially, and then I replace it again and it will show. Hope that doesn't cause auto-crafting to potentially be a problem. If auto-crafting is even going to be something we're going to need to do with this particular thing. Normally you'd want to auto-craft the awakened, but because we can just make seeds for it, it's going to be way easier. That is, if we can figure out how to use the crux with the pots. So let's go ahead and make the crux. So all I'm going to need is a little bit of insanium. I have the awakened. I have enough, which is 8, which came from the 2 hearts. I probably could have got away with just killing it one more time and just using the original heart. But of course, I'm complicated and I always make things harder for myself in that regard. Oh, goodness. But as you can see right here, we should have enough insanium to make this. We just need the dragon heart. Oh, I got to go get that out of my crafter. Glad I didn't overcraft and actually use this, or I would have had to fight the dragon again. And I did not want to do that. So this is the awakened crux. And I think that when we make the seed for the awakened draconium, which is this stuff right here, I'm thinking that to get this to work in the pot, I think you just place the crux inside the pot, and that's what you use it to grow on. We're gonna have to test this out. So let's make the seed. This by the way is like some really powerful stuff. That's why it costs insanium in order to actually craft it, because this awakened draconium is used for all of the really powerful stuff in Draconic, like all of it, and it's so powerful. So having this seed is really powerful. So let's try the highest tier pot, right? And then we need a point. So let's go ahead and set that up right here. Set up the pot. And let's see, is it the crux that goes in? Okay, that doesn't seem to be the case. So I know the insanium soil can go in here. So insanium farmland. And then the seed. Now this won't grow unless there's a crux. Does the crux need to be underneath it? Or how does that work? It shows it in all kinds of different ways. This is going to be a bit of a problem because I don't quite know how to get this to work. Let me do some research. Never mind. It seems like it's working without the crux. Am I seeing this correctly? Is this working without the crux? Oh my gosh, it is. So yeah, I am just sort of blown away that this is actually working without the crux. I didn't even need to fight the dragon again. Well, I mean, I had to fight it at least one more. Well, no, I didn't need to make the crux at all. I just needed the seeds. Oh, I didn't have to fight the dragon. Oh, I could have done without that. Well, you live and learn. And with this, well, we now have access to Draconium, but we're going to need to get the auto crafting set up for it. And so this is the awakened version. And we actually start with using we actually craft up the nuggets for this, using up the essence here. So we'll do that. And then we'll work towards making the nuggets into the ingot version and so on and so forth. It's interesting that there's awakened draconium dust, but that doesn't exist. No crafting recipe or anything. Now, am I going to need the blocks for anything? Well, we actually need this for the tier chaotic here. So we are going to need access to the blocks eventually, so might as well get an autocraft for that as well. And I think this is going to be used to tier up the next tier crafters. So back to Draconic and back to crafting up the higher tier crafters, right? So this is going to lead us into the Draconic Fusion Crafter Injector. As you can see, it does cost a full block, but once we have this, we can actually start working on something else. And that is the power storage that is accessible now via, well, it was accessible earlier, but is accessible now that we could technically use. I just want to use for decoration. We have infinite power, but I really want the cool looks of this thing. But that will have to wait until next episode, because today we are effectively out of time. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, learning a little bit about Draconic Evolution. Of course, I am pretty much relearning Draconic Evolution at this point. Oh man, me and Greg here are really striving. And we're trying to refresh our brain on all of these mods. There's a lot of them in here that I haven't played with in a long time, which I think is contributing to the fun factor. And I hope you guys are having fun playing this as well. Of course, mod packs really don't make the fun, you do. So, of course, it's only what you make of it, and I'm having a blast coming up with cool and interesting ideas to get things working. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Of course, click that subscribe button so you can make the lovely over here really happy. And then of course, give this video a thumbs up. Now it is time to thank the supporter of today's video. And that huge thanks is going to go out to God. Thank you so much for your amazing support, by the way, over on the Discord, becoming a Discord premium member and supporting in one of the best ways possible. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Of course, as always, I'll see you in the next one. And yet again, as always, thanks for watching. Bye.